So I spent the last year getting back into art after about a 10-year hiatus. Here's what I got to show. Just to give you some perspective, here's the very first drawing I did a little over a year ago from today, which happens to be a self-portrait. And here is a redo of the self-portrait I did a couple months ago. Look at that handsome devil. Guys, I was not kidding when I said I had more than a 10-year hiatus from art. This is a still oil painting we had to do in high school painting class, which was by far one of my favorite class of all time, aside from maybe college Spanish, since my Spanish professor was muy caliente. This is another oil painting that won me all the respect and adorations of 10% of the student body. I did this as part of my AP art concentration. This is probably one of my finest drawings back in high school, but to be honest, I'm not too proud of it since it was a grid drawing, but whatever. Fast forward more than a decade and this is what I've been up to for the last year. So these attempts were basically just trying to follow the drawing from the left side of the brain book. I think that's what it's called. I know, not very exciting stuff and not a very good start on the journey, I have to say. Okay, so then this is another attempt I did one night and oh boy, this is what really got things rolling, because after I posted this on my Instagram, a super hot chick that I know of immediately liked it. Now, I'm not trying to say that that's why I draw, wink wink, but I'd be lying if I say that validation from a model is not motivating. So, after going viral, a friend asked me to draw her dog Leo, and that was exactly what I did. This was probably the first drawing that I fell in love with. The more I drew, the more it came alive and the more I felt like I was falling in love with Leo, even though we never met. Leo was probably my very first real drawing since this whole second phase of art in my life. Here's a random sketch of my Logitech MX Master mouse, which I think is pretty cool. Link is in the description below. This here is when I went through a phase where I tried drawing the same profile portrait over and over again without looking at references. Meet Isabella. We may or may not have dated, and she will be remembered. Memento mori, or remember that you will die. Everybody should contemplate death. Everyone should realize that life can only be long if you live as though it is short. Well, hello there. Look at her. I think I did this drawing because I felt like there aren't enough Asians in the art world when it comes to models. Every portrait art piece I see online is mostly just white people. Nothing against white people, but hey, I gotta get my Asian people in there. The good old Donald. What a character and what a joke. If you're going to deny people's basic human rights and deny the validity of science, I'm going to draw some duck faces on you, bruh. I cannot believe we're living through a time where one guy leads the electric car revolution, the self-driving revolution, and the privatized space travels revolution. I think it would be pretty cool if we get to Mars one day, but even cooler if I turn this into a painting. Click the like button if you agree. I started to really get into nature this year. I really enjoy long walks and hikes and started to really take notice of trees. Fun facts, did you know that trees are the longest living organisms on Earth and that they drink up to 100 gallons of water a day? And last, they can save you up to 25% on your energy bill by providing shades in the summer and windbreaks in the winter. Trees are awesome. Matter of fact, this is when I started to get a real liking for drawing with pens and ink. The permanent nature of ink intimidated me for a while, but I actually feel more liberated now that I got used to it. There's a certain boldness and confidence emanated from the ink that is quite compelling. It just feels very quick and decisive, maybe even assertive. Here's a real life sketch I did of one of my favorite pastimes to do in Austin, Texas, walking around Town Lake Trail. I did a sketch right after a deep meditation session. It was awesome. This is a master study of the great Swedish artist Anders Zorn. This guy was a real somebody, and his work really made me feel a certain way. His style reminds me of John Singer Sargent. The work is very expressive and respects and appreciates and expresses the human form very well. Yep, this is your boy feeling himself that day. Why don't I do more self-portraits? Insecurity? Afraid to really look and study myself? What about you? Look at yourself. Some more practice sketches from Charles Borg Drawing Course Book. 'Cause I've been the hardest to love. You're trying to let me go. I don't think you guys want to hear me sing anymore, but yes, The Weeknd is my shit. So after I posted my drawing of The Weeknd on a Facebook drawing group, some dude from Nigeria reached out and asked if I could draw his baby kid for some money. I said, yeah, sure, why not? Then it actually turned out to be one of my finest work. Then I didn't charge him because I realized the average person in Nigeria probably doesn't have a lot of disposable income. So yeah, free drawings. I tried something a little different on this drawing. I used some white charcoal. Alright, continuing with the baby theme, this is a baby portrait drawing I did for a good friend of mine. I think I captured the innocence and the eyes of this baby pretty well. Continuing with the baby theme again, this is a dual portrait of my friend and his daughter. This one was quite challenging as I've yet drawn two faces in one piece. It was hard to focus on just one face at a time. Megan. I feel like this drawing is probably my most 3D looking one. Check out that nose and them collarbones. Okay, more Charles Borg's practice sketches. Have you heard of Albert Camus? The existentialist that once stated that the most fundamental question in philosophy is whether or not to commit suicide. R.I.P. I felt so emotional when I heard about the murder of George Floyd that I had to do a piece on it. Actually, after I posted this on IG, some local art community organizers in Austin discovered it and actually invited me out to work on murals downtown Austin as part of a BLM protest. This experience gave me a glimpse into the power of being an artist and having the ability to affect the world through art. If you made it this far in the video, then congratulations. Pat yourself on the back for sitting through this long ass YouTube video. I know it may sound like my dream is to be an artist in a way that may be correct. However, I believe my art is more than just visuals. It's what I think. It's what I care about. It's what I find funny. It's what I read. It's my philosophy. Basically, it's my entire being. I think everyone should live life like a scientist. That is, everyone should experiment with themselves and get to know themselves more. That's probably even more critical these days since the internet has allowed an infinite number of voices and beliefs to bombard our minds through our ears and eyes. With all of those voices, it's hard to sustain your swim and float above these voices in your head telling you to believe in this and do that. Blah, blah, blah. Eventually, if you don't have faith and take a chance by discovering your true self, you will slowly just become one of them. The experiment was to see if there was anything I did in my childhood that I did for hours without any monetary rewards. More importantly, this something also had to be things that just came natural to me, things that were effortless to me. And art was one of those things. So we're making videos. So we're trying to make people laugh. Does anyone really watch a whole YouTube video these days? Peace.